With Matmen, I mean, we've been involved with it for the last 5.5 years. It's just all about family and getting kids up here to have fun and get them into the sport. I mean, we got Garfield here to help us, and he's done a great deal of success for our program.
And what does Matmen do for the kids?
Matmen, it gives them a chance to go out and do a sport, and it boosts their confidence all in general. Like with my kids here, both of them have succeeded in this program very well, and it has both helped them off the mat and on the mat as sportsmanship and showing them responsibility.
Okay, and how can we get the community more involved in wrestling?
Well, listen, first of all, we're open to anybody who wants to join. We got pre-K all the way through 8th graders. We will take anybody, anytime that wants to learn the sport of wrestling. And we're not even worried about competing at tournaments. We just want them up here to learn the sport, and that's the point of all of this. If we can get a love for the sport of wrestling, we've done our job. And so the door's open for anybody who wants to be a part of this program. Come talk to me at the high school, talk to Josh, talk to Thad Corbin. We got a lot of guys, Caleb, a lot of guys who are here to help. And we got the doors open for anybody to come.
Now we need more community involvement though, people showing up at the tournaments.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we could always use more people at our tournaments.
And why is that? What's wrestling up against?
We're up against a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, my whole thing is, with the lack of knowledge about the sport, people aren't interested. And so if you come and start getting involved and start helping and watching and learning the sport, then you start developing a little bit of a love for the sport where you can really help, you know, kind of cheer on the kids in our community. And a lot of people say, well, I don't know anything about wrestling, I don't want to go watch. Well, the only way you learn is by coming and learning. And so the door's open, and we will teach anybody that wants to learn the rules. We want to make sure that wrestling is something that they understand, which will bring them into the doors.
Okay, strictly from this point of view of Fairbury, what can they do here to get more involved? When do you do your tournaments? How's this?
Well, we do, as far as practices go, we're every Monday and every Thursday, 6:30 till 8 o'clock at night. If you want to come watch and learn sport, we're more than welcome to have you here. Varsity's got a ton of tournaments coming after Christmas break. We got a home invite in January. I think it's the 27th of January. And then the week after the state wrestling tournament, when we host our youth wrestling tournament, which will be the 24th of January or February. And that's a boys tournament one day and a girls tournament the next day. And so we're open to boys and girls. But we're here to serve the community, and that's why we're doing what we do.
Okay, thanks guys, appreciate it.
Well, we're here today with John Fletcher, and John has been a lifelong member of Matmen. Continue on his break from college to come up here and share and help with these kids. John, we're just trying to talk with folks and stuff about the Matmen program and wrestling in general. We know it obviously is you've almost centered your life around it and stuff like that. Share with us and the people viewing what wrestling means to you, and specifically the Matmen program and what it's taught you.
Specific on the Matmen program, I found it to be like a type of mentorship where at a young age I surround myself with older students, middle school, high school kids that I could look up to, who I knew were doing the right things and who were busting their tails every day up in the room. And then as I got older, I wanted to be more like them, so I developed those habits where I come up here and I work hard, and I go home and I do the right things, I eat the right things, I get my schoolwork done, because that's what they preached up here. And then as I became a middle schooler, I started seeing those younger kids looking up to me, and then it made me want to mold myself even more to be that role model that I had at a younger age and knew that it could become. And as I got older, I saw more and more kids start looking up to me, not only little kids, but also middle schoolers, and even like high schoolers started to look up to me. And I thought that was just because of this program, what it taught me at a young age, and what it continued to teach me as I got older, and what it still teaches me now.
Well, personally, you know, I've been involved with the Matmen program ever since Anthony was 4 or 5 years old. And the neat thing about wrestling, I think, and the Matmen program is that it is one of the earliest opportunities for kids to get involved with the sport. And the thing that anybody that's been around wrestling at all will identify with is it teaches discipline. And it introduces that to kids at a young age, obviously, and it introduces them to how to, you know, to work hard and be coachable. You see a lot of kids that will start having various interests, in other sports and stuff, and they may lose interest in wrestling down the road. But I can guarantee you at the start of like youth tackle football, when kids start participating at 3rd and 4th grade level, you can go to a practice and identify every kid that's wrestling. They have a better understanding of their balance, the understanding of their body, and it definitely correlates to other areas. I think, some people ask, why doesn't wrestling have more visibility and more people participate in it? And a lot of it comes to understanding, if your kid has an interest in playing basketball, it's pretty easy to go out there and beat that pumpkin around and toss it up and play, shoot some hoops with your kids. But if your child has interest in wrestling, if they say, teach me the half, or, there's terminology and an understanding of things that it's hard for some people to know that if they haven't been around it. And the only way to know that is to come,
If they don't do Matman, is it too late?
Not at all. I personally speaking, when I was in high school, I witnessed a couple kids that didn't start until their 8th or 9th grade year that went on to later qualify to participate in state tournament in Kansas. And so, you see that. We've seen some kids here at the Fairbury too. The thing is, when you're competing at the level that the Fairbury Jeffs are competing at, and that strive to be every year top of Class B or Class C, wherever we may be, we want to compete for state titles and one of the best dual teams in the state. And that takes a lot of dedication, and you have to have a repertoire of moves and that type of intense, competition. And it starts with the foundation that's being built up there with Matman.
So how do the parents get involved in Matman?
It's simple. If you're ever on the fence, when I was president of Matman, it was, if you were on the fence at all or didn't know what to expect, come to some practices. There's no obligation. You just come, and we'd love to have you and show you, and that's the best way to do it. Come ask any other coach or parent, questions away. You came to an event, a couple weeks ago, and you had a lot of questions, and I tell you what, as a wrestling fan and parent, we love it. Come and talk to us. We'll love to share and educate you.
Okay, I appreciate the interview.
You bet.
Thank you.